ladies and gentlemen, to It Came From DC Comics here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out a movie from 2013. That movie is Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox. Now, I would love to tell you anything about the Flashpoint miniseries that this film is based on, but unfortunately, I not only have not had a chance to read it, I know barely anything about it. I know it has something to do with Flash and one of his primary villains, Professor Zoom, or sometimes known as Reverse Flash. Somehow, someway, one or both of them do something that royally screws up the DC universe. So Flash is now in a darker, slightly more violent alternate version of the DC universe, and he has to try to set things right. I know nothing else. Well, I know almost nothing else about exactly what has changed. The only one that has been kind of spoiled on me is what happened to Batman in this alternate universe. And no, I am not planning on spoiling that. I am hoping for this thing to be good. In fact, it almost has to be, considering the fact that every other movie I've covered this month has been good. Not only that, this is another one of the DC films that everybody told me, "Oh, dude, you have to see this thing. It is so awesome." And now I'm going to get my chance, and the only way I'm going to see if this thing is any good at all is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox. Okay, guys, I knew, some about this, alternate version of Batman. I did not know he used fucking guns. And that just seems incredibly weird because, god damn it, it's Batman! He doesn't do fucking guns! I'm gonna have to try to get used to that now. Okay, that was incredibly dark. I never really pictured Wonder, Woman as being the sort of person who was really into lynchings. That was fucking sick. Guys, the more of this I see, and the darker that this story gets, the more I'm digging it. I just basically saw the origin of this fucking world's Joker, and my god, that I was not. I kind of knew who the Joker was. I was not expecting that to be the origin of the Joker's look. That was fucked in the head, man. Okay, I never thought I would see Superman reduce people to ash with his heat vision. Holy shit, that was messed up. Really cool, but god, that was fucking messed up, man. Alright, guys, I never thought I would ever see Batman and Grifter team up and gun down a character, shooting them in the head in a real bloody and nasty fashion. Especially when that character is, of all people, Black fucking Manta. Guys, no, I'm gonna tell you guys, now absolutely everything I just said should not make a lick of sense. Batman and Grifter shot Black Manta in the head. I should never... Wow, that just sounds weird, man. Well, guys, that was Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox. Let's shut that off. Okay. So, writing. A minor issue with a whole lot of these DC films, and this one here is a really, really good, this here, guys, is like the perfect way of showing it is pacing in some of these films is a little bit iffy. And normally, guys, when I talk about pacing in a film, it's that the pacing is too slow. With quite a few of these DC films, we are getting these wild and awesome stories, which could probably work great for, say, like a 2-hour film, maybe even a 2.5-hour film, and they get boiled down to like 60 minutes, 70 minutes, in this case 81 minutes. So we are left wondering a lot about a ton of things. We get a brief mention in the final act as to exactly why this whole timeline has changed the way that it's changed. And it's because the Flash was able to tap into like a time force, which I didn't even know was a thing. Apparently, if you move fast enough when you're utilizing the speed force, you're able to break into like a chronal barrier, or pass, or break into the time force and be able to travel back in time. He made one minor change, and it was a personal change within his life, and it then caused ripples to float out, which then caused all these major changes, which is probably like the laziest way of saying, hey, we just wanted to change all of this because fuck you. That literally, guys, is it. And what really makes that stunning is there have been numerous DC Comics novels and storylines out there which have touched on alternate histories and timelines, except they played with it in a much more, and this is going to be really weird when we talk about time travel, in a much more realistic way. So you have stories like, what if Superman's rocket landed in Russia instead of in the U.S., and then you get Superman Red, Sun? What happens if Bruce Wayne was given the Green Lantern ring instead of Hal Jordan, and we get Batman Darkest Night? We have all these kinds of stories out there, but all of them at least play around with like a single point, and then show how everything has altered from there. Probably one of the best examples of that is a comic called Justice League. It was the Nail, and the friggin' Nail is basically what happens if the Kents hadn't found Superman's pod when it crashed, and he just died because nobody found him there. Exactly how would the DC universe be different if there was no Superman? And it's a really fascinating thing. However, once more, that actually, though, is taking a single thing and changing it. This thing here is we are going to change this, and it's basically just going to cause like time fucking ripples to float out. And so now Batman is actually Thomas Wayne. I understand I said I wasn't going to spoil that, but fuck it. Batman is Thomas Wayne, and Bruce Wayne is the one who was shot. Hal, Jordan never got the, ring. We never know who got the fucking ring. Just tons and tons of like little like minor changes. All because Flash changed one thing in his life. All of that to me felt, kind of lazy. However, though, but see, guys, that honestly was just kind of like that was just a lazy way of trying to show us the world as it is in this story. It doesn't stop the world from still being fascinating and awesome. Oh yes, and also another ripple is Grifter has jumped fucking universes from Wildstorm to DC because. And that's totally fine because shit, guys, Grifter's always been a cool, character. So we have all of these changes, and it does make for a fantastic world. It's really cool that Flash has to be able to figure out exactly what happened and then fix it while under the threat of the world ending because of a war between Wonder Woman and Aquaman. It really is, guys, just a fascinating story. The writing here is really solid. However, I do believe that the writing would have been a lot better if the movie would have been given at least another like 25, maybe 30 minutes to help further flesh out the universe, because you guys have this wide sweeping story and you're giving it only an hour and 20 minutes. That is not enough time. And because of that, everything kind of feels a little bit rushed. However, though, what is here is still really solid. It's just, once more, it could have probably been, it would have been a hell of a lot better if they would have given it more time. Voice acting here is really solid. However, though, that honestly is nothing, that there's been nothing special, because the voice acting in almost all of these DC animated films has been fantastic, minus one or two actors, or in certain cases one or two readings. The acting here, guys, is really solid in that, and that is partially because Warner Brothers knows how to find talented actors to play these to voice these characters. Art style. If there, guys, was anything I really had to complain about outside of the whole time force ripple thing, it would have to be that the art style in this film, in certain spots, looks really ugly. And this actually, guys, sort of boils down to characters, because certain characters look fine, other characters look friggin' terrible. Okay, for instance, guys, there are basically two body types. Oh, there's technically three body types amongst grown men in this film. They either are slim and bony and almost not even there, which is Superman. Don't ask, just please go watch the film if you're really curious. Or they have a slender, more normal build, or they have a body like this and a head like, well, let me take off my ring, and a head like that, which is Aquaman, Cyborg, and a few others. And it looks hideous. Not only, guys, do we have these characters with these massive bodies and these tiny, tiny heads, but the ones who have the tiny heads also have the biggest, most swelled out jaws I have ever seen. Guys, a jaw should not jut out this far on a human being's head, especially when their head is about yay big. It doesn't look right. The art style here looks fine, minus the few characters who they, I guess, insisted needed to have jaws, who needed to have jaw lines that take up three quarters of their head size, and their head is about half as big as it should be. And it's going to look really, really weird at first. You will slowly get, used to it. It still, though, doesn't, stop it from looking kind of hideous and homely and ugly. So yeah, guys, art style here is a little bit, sketchy. Music here is fine. Sound mix is fine. Animation here is still really smooth. CG. I, guys, have bitched for the past, 6-7 episodes about how Warner Brothers, whenever they do these DC films, they always have to use CG like cars and they look like shit. They actually got it right here. It took them years. But in 2013, Warner Brothers knew how to render traffic in CG and make it at least look decent. My God, guys, that is just stunning. Bravo. I really did not think I would be saying that about one of these films. I also never thought I would see a movie where Batman and Grifter shoot Black Manta in the head. That still just floors me. That fucking sentence should not exist. Anyways, ultimately, guys, am I able to recommend Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox? Oh, yes. Yes, and I also do have to warn for parents who still think that animation is all totally for kids. You're probably not going to want them to watch this if you think that your child is not fit for extreme violence. Because, guys, when I say Batman and Grifter shot Black Manta in the head, it is a very bloody kill. Almost every death in this film is greeted with tons and tons of blood. This thing, guys, is probably the bloodiest film put out in the entire DC animated canon, or the entire DC animated film line. It really is. It is also one of the darkest stories which they have done, which is saying a lot, because they took Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns and turned that thing into a movie. This thing, guys, is darker than something that Frank Miller wrote. That is saying a lot. And it really does, guys, benefit the fact that this story is this, dark, because they honestly could have probably Because they honestly could have probably tried to lighten it and make it a little bit more family, friendly, and it would probably have absolutely killed the film. The fact that they opted to keep it this, dark is certainly a benefit for the story, but it is probably going to cause parents to not let their kids watch this until they are until they're a little bit older. Once more, I do have to stress there is a reason why all these things are rated PG-13. Still, guys, I can totally recommend this. This thing was amazing. And mind you guys, mind you guys, now this thing here is awesome, even, with the couple of minor issues I mentioned. This thing is fantastic. It is probably one of the best I've seen all month. This was great. Now, Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox came off the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in was Kari, and you guys can go and check out Kari's it's her Let's Play channel. Please, guys, swing over there, check it out. Kari, I thank you, because I was really curious about, this one, especially since I am not a huge fan of The Flash, so I wasn't sure how a film focused almost entirely on the Flash would work with me, and it worked really well. I loved this so much so that I'm going to say it once more. I'm going to read those Flashpoint books because I really want to see it. I really want to see how the rest of the story went with this. This thing, guys, is amazing, and if you can find it, please, guys, go out there. Download it, watch it off Netflix, buy it, whatever. Once more, Kari, I thank you. This thing here is going to have a very happy spot in my Blu-ray collection. And once more, as has been the way with all of these DC films, there are some really awesome bonus features on here, including episodes of Justice League and Batman the Brave and the Bold. I'm going to go and watch those. And I'm probably going to love those because I really like Justice League and Batman Brave and the Bold. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.